the situation of the accession process and democratic standards in Turkey are very linked to what is happening around the PKK and the new hope on the resolution of the Kurds issue. In which way? First, in the relation with Turkey, there are two branches. Accession process is about democracy, is normative, is with mandatory benchmark, and unfortunately, the country decided not to follow the path, and the situation of the democratic standards does not allow us to continue the relation in this way. The other is partnership. Partnership is transactional. Partnership is about to have some common interest, and partnership it could be more linked to the realpolitik. And we, at the same time that we are saying there is no condition to resume the accession process, we are very clear that we have to continue dealing with Turkey because it's a very important neighbor and partner. One of the things that we can deal with is the role of Turkey in the security architecture of Europe, but not in the way the Turkish pro-Gulf media always say, offering to the public opinion continuously. This is a shower of article and text defending this idea. Our military power is opening the gates of the membership of the European Union. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. The European Union, to be member of the European Union is about democracy. It's not about drones. I repeat it for years. More. Montenegro is not a very important country from the geopolitical point of view. It's a tiny country. It's not a big stakeholder in geopolitics. And Montenegro is going to be a member of the European Union well before Turkey, because to be member is not about military power or geopolitics. What is one of the obstacles for considering Turkey a real democracy? The anti-terrorist law and the practice having this anti-terror law. It's not only the law, it's the practice. And for that reason, I point exactly to the Istanbul prosecutor that is behind any case having a high political level. It's always the prosecutor of Istanbul that is a long arm of the political power in the judiciary. Now, anti-terror law is a problem. And the alibi for having this anti-terror law that is not used only against real terrorists, is used against anybody, majors, students, activists, journalists, lawyers, doctors. This anti-terror legal framework is a big obstacle to consider Turkey as a real democracy. Now you have this big, excellent news of PKK abandoning the political violence. This is excellent news. We praise the call from Öcalan. I praise immediately the decision of the PKK and the Kurdish activist movement to follow this indication of the historical leader Öcalan, and that creates a new hope of the country. And it's not to be spoiled. This is another opportunity window. This is another historical occasion to have to conduct. And this is another reason for which you are not needing that kind of anti-terror law. You are a member of the Council of Europe. The Council of Europe is always asking and requesting Turkey to change the anti-terror law. If you don't have the PKK, probably you have another opportunity window to align your anti-terror law with the anti-terror laws of Europe. And this is opening a lot of gates. One of the gates is visa liberalization. Because visa, one of the benchmarks lacking, not being complied with Turkey is anti-terror law. If you don't have the immediate terror threat, you can have a different legal setting to address the terror law, and then you could get rid of one of the obstacles to be considered a real democracy, to really create the environment for the Kurdish movement and for the Kurdish mayors and for the CHP mayor and activists, and to any critical piece of the society not to be accused of terrorism. And for that reason, both things are linked. From the accession process frozen to the fact that there is no reason for having this strict legal framework, and of course, not the practice of using this law redacted against the real terrorists to be used against anyone in the country. That's because the list of persons who have been accused of terrorists, of aiding terrorists, is half of the country. In my view, the Kurdish problem in Turkey has to be addressed under the umbrella of the constitutional order in Turkey. Of course, it's going to be talks discreet and probably not public, but I think in some way you have to introduce the idea of the parliament, and I think them party is doing very well, being the interlocutor of Öcalan for sure, but having met with almost every political party in the country, because everybody knows that them is a key stakeholder. The European Union ready to engage if we are called for that, if we are requested, if somebody thinks we can be of help, but not jumping on the issue without permission or without talking with the relevant authorities. This is my position. If we are requested, we will be very happy. But this is an internal issue of Turkey. Only Turkey could invite others to be in any way part of the process.